Hello spooky people, welcome back to another video. My name is Rocio with Spooky Little Rocio. This is a video that a lot of people have been requesting for quite some time, but I haven't had a chance to record it just because I have been busy and there's just been a lot going on in my life lately. But this is going to be part 3, my third video of the update with my experience on Prozac Fluoxetine 10 milligrams, but also my experience with Wellbutrin. I don't remember the milligrams that I was on, I just remember that I was on a lower dosage of it. So if you have watched my previous videos, there is the first one where I am explaining my entire journey of why I decided to get on antidepressants and anxiety medication, and like pretty much explain to you my entire backstory. We get really personal in there. If you were curious about it, please know I'm not a professional. I am just giving my experience because when I was first wanting to get on medication, because it got to that point, I looked up YouTube videos. I wanted to see what people's experiences were with it because everybody's experience is different, and that kind of brought me a little sense of peace before starting the medication. So this is why I'm posting these videos. I am not asking for advice. I am not asking for your judgment. I am just here to tell you my story and my experiences, and I hope this helps for anybody that is curious about getting on a medication journey and is scared. I don't mean to scare you with my experiences, but this is what happened to me, and this is the good, the bad, and the ugly and all that. So if you want to watch the 8-month check-in while I was on Prozac Fluoxetine, I will go ahead and put the video on here somewhere and the little icon, and it should be listed at the very end. I'll see if I can list them at the very end. But let me tell y'all, so the last time that we spoke technically was in September of 2023 was when I recorded that last video. Currently we are in March 10th of 2025, so it has been now a little over a year since I completely got off of all medication. And you hear that correctly, all medication. I am not on birth control anymore. I am not on antidepressants. I am not on anxiety medication. I am not on anything but multivitamins. I only take multivitamins, and I take probiotics, which probiotics are very important. I will get into all of that as well. So in the end of that video, I do end up mentioning that I was considering getting off of Prozac Fluoxetine 10 milligrams, and the reason being was because I had a lot of bad experiences with it, from weight gain to my depression increasing to multiple ER visits to a development of GERD, which is acid reflux in my stomach, due to taking something at ibuprofen, but not even being able to take just medication when I'm sick, which now I am traumatized to, by the way. I never take any medication when I'm sick if I don't have to. If it's really, really, really bad, then I do, but I'm always scared, and I will also tell you why. While I was on Wellbutrin, I decided to change over to Wellbutrin because my mom also has a lot of issues. She's got anxiety disorder, depression disorder, and she's also got bipolar disorder and all this other stuff. So it kind of runs in the family, as I am explaining it to you here, and I'm being very vulnerable with y'all. This is probably the most open I am when it comes to my life, besides what y'all see on this channel. So I decided to go on Wellbutrin. My mom was telling me, hey, I started losing weight instead of gaining weight, because if you aren't aware, when I started Prozac, I weighed 135 pounds. And within 8 months, I got to 153 pounds. It was pretty crazy. If you want to see the whole explanation on that, I explained that in the previous video as well. And I ended up stopping Prozac in September of 2023. And in September of 2023, I immediately went into Wellbutrin. Wellbutrin is another type of antidepressant / anxiety medication. So I ended up going into Wellbutrin, and I stopped Wellbutrin in January of 2023. Reason being is I ended up in the ER again on Christmas Eve. So I ended up in the ER again on Christmas Eve. The night before, I had thrown up everywhere, and it came out of nowhere. Like, I did not eat anything bad, like nothing. We were really trying to hone in on what the heck was going on. I ended up finding out that it was my stomach from the medication. So I had a really, really bad reaction. I was throwing up for 7 hours, and my stomach was just killing me. I got super dehydrated. I had to be taken to the ER on Christmas Eve. It was just a wonderful Christmas because I was not home. I was in New Mexico. Thank goodness the doctors in that small town that I was in were way better and more helpful than the doctors here in Austin, Texas. They actually put me on an IV. I got fluids because, like I said, I was throwing up for 7 hours. It was really bad, and I had a really bad reaction to my medication and a flare-up, and my acid reflux was terrible. When I was on the Prozac and I had those other ER visits, I got told that I developed GERD, which is acid reflux, which is when your acid, it gets all the way up here. And I had so many terrible experiences that I also explained in the previous video as well. And my gut health, taking these medications, got destroyed. Like, I can honestly tell you that it got destroyed. And we are now in 2025, and my gut health is still destroyed. Like, it is still messed up. I still have GERD. I did not have GERD prior to being on antidepressants. So I now get random flare-ups of acid reflux, and I feel terrible. I have to make sure I take omeprazole, and that helps a little bit. I did actually experience this overseas. I went overseas for the first time to visit my best friend in Italy, and I made a whole vlog on it. It was not fun, y'all. I was sick the entire time. I had a GERD acid reflux, flare up the day right before I left, and it continued throughout my entire trip. I did not want to eat. I did not want to drink. I was extremely dehydrated the entire trip, that at one point I was in Paris and I was like, yeah, I'm going to try my best. I felt like I was going to die in the hotel. So my stomach is just, to be honest, messed up. I don't want to use the F word, but it's that bad. My stomach is definitely really messed up. I tried doing a cleaner health and diet, and I even went on a Candida cleanse, and I felt like the Candida cleanse helped. I started taking probiotics to help my gut health, and that helped, and then I started taking multivitamin on the regular, and I feel like that helped. But my weight gain continued. So in July of 2024, I was now 165 pounds, because even after you wean off of your medication, you can still have side effects for months to years on after, according to what the research that I did. So I still continued with the weight gain. Even when I wasn't like eating like terrible or nothing, like the weight gain still continued. And I was plateaued on 1.2, which that is what really, really made my depression really bad. If we're talking about my mental health today, my depression is still very bad. I do get very depressed about the fact that I am very heavy. Like I said, I started at 135 pounds, but even prior to that, I was at 115 pounds because I had let myself go at that point, and I was at 115 pounds. So like going from 115 pounds to 165 pounds was probably the most depressing thing, and to this day is still very depressing to me. The good thing is, once I started really focusing on my gut health and trying to repair my gut health, which like I said has taken me this long, it took me until July of 2024 to be like, all right, I'm gonna try again to fix my gut health on my own. And I was able to lose 15 pounds. When I went to Italy and I had my whole issue, I lost another 5 pounds. And then I ended up regaining those 5 pounds after, because I lost them from being sick. So technically in total I've lost 15 pounds, which I'm really proud of myself, and now I'm kind of plateaued at that. I feel like it has taken an entire year for my stomach and my body to realize that there's officially no medication in my system, because that's when I really started to feel depressed again. My anxiety has helped, it's gotten better being on that Prozac, being on that Wellbutrin, I feel like I am more open to everything now. Like I do really try to process my emotions a little bit better than I did before. And I really just try to talk about it. I try to focus on my mental health. I try to journal. I try to do things that I think will help me over time. But like I said, my gut health just got completely destroyed. I feel like that is the biggest regret of getting on these medications, is I feel like it just completely gutted my stomach. And now it's gotten to the point where I am plateaued. I am slowly now able to lose this weight that I gained after a year, well, a little over a year, but I still have GERD flare-ups. The GERD flare-ups are the worst, and it sucks because it just affects my daily life. Like I already have issues when I'm out in the heat. That's a completely other different problem. So that mixed up with GERD flare-ups is the worst, y'all. I don't literally put that on anybody. I don't wish that on my worst enemy. I hate it so much. And I think it's gotten to the point where I think I need to go to a doctor. I need to go to a doctor and be like, hey, like I need to get my gut health in check, and I need help getting my gut health in check. Because the GERD flare-ups themselves is now also bringing depression on top of it too. So my depression is still pretty bad. My anxiety is not as bad as it used to be because I can drive now, but I still have pretty bad anxiety. I feel like while I was weaning off, it was okay. And now that I'm a year off, of the medication, my anxiety is returning slowly, a little bit more. My depression, like I said, that has continued. Like that's why I stopped, because it was increasing my depression. So it helped with some things. Like I said, it has opened me up to think a little bit different. But there is some long-term side effects that I'm just like, man, I hate this. And it sucks that we have to put our bodies in this kind of state so our mental state is okay, so I got my mental state kind of figured out a little bit, but now everything else is wrong. So that is my update. I know it might not be a lot, but that is the major update. And like I ended that last video, I did say, hey, do I recommend this to anybody? Yes and no. That continues to be my answer. Yes, because it really helped when I really needed it. It helped with my depression at the time. It helped with my anxiety, which was the worst. And it helped open up my mind to how I need to start processing my anxiety, processing my depression, and just taking everything in. But no, because it has put other parts of my body at risk, and now I don't know what to do. And now there's another health issue that I now have that I didn't have before, that I now have to go pay someone to help me to hopefully repair it. But repairing your gut is a very, very hard thing. So yeah, it's a are you okay having other health issues to fix your mental health, And that's why I was like, yes, I needed it, because I was getting to the point where I couldn't function. But yeah, I don't know. The weight gain and the gut health in general gave me more depression than anything else in the end. And it's disappointing. I know it might not be what a lot of people want to hear, but that was my experience. I know other people might have experienced it differently. I know friends that have tried many different other medications and have gone down the loop and all of that. And personally, I was done with 2. I did not want to put anything more in my body. I don't have that kind of time. It stresses me out, and I don't have that kind of patience to be able to do that. So I give props to anybody else that has been on like 10 different medications and officially found their medication. I do have friends like that, and I'm very proud of them. But medications are just not for me. And at this point, I'm just trying to find a way to balance out my emotions. Like I said, I journal now. Journaling is very special and it's part of like my routine. And anytime I'm feeling anxious or depressed, like I try to journal or I write poetry, things like that. I try to breathe and try to focus on that. And I try to eat healthier. I try not to put like a bunch of junk in my stomach. You know, like I said, I take multivitamins, I take probiotics for my stomach, things like that, to just try to really get back to where my stomach at one point was. So that is my update. Like I said, I know it might not be what a lot of y'all wanted to hear, but I hope this kind of helps close this chapter. And if I'm ever able to get my gut health back in order, I may or may not make another video. We will see. I'm hoping that I can get it in order and I can lose some weight, because all of this weight has caused a lot on my body. Like, parts of my body are very weak that weren't before because of that weight, because I am really short. I do also mention that in the previous video. Thank you so much though to everybody who has commented on my videos and has told me, you know, that they were helpful, or have even said, you know, you're very strong for being vulnerable. Like I said, I felt very comfortable watching other people's videos when they were being vulnerable about their mental health journey. So I felt like I'm gonna put my 2 cents in it as well, especially as a woman, because we have a whole other thing going on with our hormones, y'all. So I wanted to kind of give y'all that insight. But I'm gonna leave y'all here. If y'all like spooky stuff, Ren Fair stuff, cosplay stuff, lifestyle stuff, Halloween year-round stuff, definitely consider checking out my channel, and I will see y'all next time. Bye, spooky people. Thanks again.